Hello tubers and tubettes. If you don't know me, my name is Dave Dixon and I live in Northern California. And I recently started my YouTube channel. And today I wanted to talk about relationships. I'm not a psychologist or anything, so you have to take this at face value. But I have been married for 36 years, and maybe that qualifies me for a little bit. My wife and I were still together, and we get along, very well. We have arguments like everybody. It never ends, it always is there. But I think that it's just a matter of both of us, doing a lot of respecting each other and laughing and have humor in our lives, and then our children really keep us connected and grounded. So I want to talk about relationships and just a couple of ways that I've looked at it over the years. I know I heard this from a comedian, but I can't remember which comedian it was. I'm getting old, so I'm doing a lot of that CRS stuff. But what the comedian said, because a lot of times the reason that comedy is funny is because it has a semblance of truth to it. And I really thought that this really stuck with me, that this is kind of how it is. It's not good or it's not bad. There's no good or bad at this. This is just kind of how it seems to be. And so what he described men's and women's, the difference is that men, our mind is like a room. And in the room, you could have a bunch of, say, legal cardboard boxes. That's how our mind is set up. So if I'm working in the garage, I have my garage box out, and I'm looking at everything inside there. And then if you come over and tell me, or my wife comes over and says, oh, my sister said this or that. Well, I really almost need to just stop what I'm doing, put my garage stuff away, set it to the side, and then go get my sister-in-law box. And it has a lot of good stuff in it, but I need to bring it and I need to look inside there so I can focus on what she's saying. So our minds are really compartmentalized, and I think that's a big factor in why, men have traditionally gone to war. They've been able to be, not that women can't go, but they go to war and they seem to be able to compartmentalize some of the events that happen to them, or even minimize it, or even put it out of their mind. And eventually it comes back out. But women, on the other hand, my wife in particular, her room is like a box full of cardboard boxes, but instead of them being separate, they're all interconnected. So I always imagine like a tube or a rope connecting each one of these boxes. And sometimes I could be talking to her about something in the garage, and then that triggers her to think something about her sister-in-law, my sister-in-law. And so it's not anything bad, it's just a different way of looking at it. I kind of almost think of it as a more advanced mind than the mind of a man. We're very simple to understand. I just was watching a video the other day, and it had to do with the difference between men and women. And the guy who was narrating it, I thought he was really good in the sense that what he was saying is that men, really, when you talk about what we want, we just want peace. We want quiet, peace and quiet. We don't want to be, made to feel jealous or, made to feel bad or anything like that. And I think with women, they always are looking to advance things and to make things better. We're getting into a little bit of discussion with my wife because she wants to redo the bathroom upstairs in our master bedroom. I personally don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, it seems to me like it's fine, but for her, it's a big deal. And so I suggested to her, well, let's get some bids on it, so that we can see how much this is going to cost and get an idea of that. I do know that my wife has got this side where she wants to do things, but if we get a cost and it's, much over $5,000, she's going to bury that. She's not gonna. She won't do that. She doesn't want to do that. So she's very frugal. So to me, I'm like, if that's what you want, we should just do it. But she doesn't think that way at all. And so that's what I recommended to her. Let's get a bid, and we'll just see what they have to say. When I was younger, I used to think about relationships before I got into one, and I thought about it's kind of like two people becoming one person. And I do feel that way with my wife. I feel very close to her. Sometimes I can just look at her and she looks at me, and there's some event going on, and we'll be able to communicate just by looking at each other. We're both thinking exactly the same thing. Sometimes that comes up with my grandson, and just childcare and just the thing that goes around there. We can just look at each other and we know what the other person is thinking because we've been together for 36 years. And so I think that the way I kind of feel about it, in terms of relationship lasting forever, I kind of always thought that it was like myself. There's a lot of things I wish I could change on myself. I'm stubborn to a point. I can be quick to anger. There's a lot of negatives. I buy a lot of cars and car parts. I know that's frustrating for her. And if you had to just go on a dating game or something, where you're having to answer questions, or like a couples thing like we did on the cruise, people can ask you questions, and I'm really surprised that my wife's answer is so different than what I thought it was going to be. But my point is that when I decided that we were going to be two people and we were going to become one, then I would even take her insecurities about herself, or things that were negative about herself. Like I could say that she is really good at arguing. That's not necessarily a negative, but it is kind of a negative to me. She has a very sharp mind. She's a paralegal. And then I could say, that she's a little messy. I'm kind of a clean freak to the point that I want everything in its own place, but I've had to learn to just accept we have like my side of the bathroom and her side of the bathroom. And so I've learned to accept that. Now she does the majority of the cleaning, in the house. I will do it when she tells me what she wants me to do. But most of the time she says, I'll just do it myself. So I'm not putting her down in any way, but sometimes she can be kind of messy in our bedroom, and our private areas, I should say. And when I got together and I knew that we were going to become one, I kind of looked at it like myself. There's things that I would like to change in myself, but I just can't. It's not possible to change it. This is just the way I am. I have changed a lot, but I have to be happy with the way I am. And that's how I look at our relationship, and especially like my wife, that I am happy. I look at the whole picture, the whole person that she is. And there's way more positives than there are negatives, just a few little negative things, but every bit of it is positive. And so I think that is good in terms of being an anchor for a good relation. When I first met her and we were talking about things in general, I told her there's going to be times that I'm going to say some stupid things. Like things just come up in my head sometimes and I don't have that filter, I just say it. And it's good in a lot of ways because I feel like I can really talk to her like a best friend that doesn't judge me. And sometimes she'll say, well, why do you think that? And we'll get into a little bit of a discussion about it, talking about people. And I think that's the thing that makes our relationship so close. But I did say that I'm going to be speaking some stupid things. I can just tell you because I know me, I've done it before, I'll probably do it again. And I want her to know at a really deep level that I am committed to her. I am not going to be looking at other women, messing around. I'm not going to be doing any kind of derogatory talk about her, putting her down at a party or in front of other people. And if I do, if I do say something that hurts her feeling, you need to tell me because I can't guess. I can try to guess, but it's going to be a lot easier and we can get it focused right there. So I have had that when I first got married. I would say a joke that I thought was really kind of silly and cute. And I thought it was really a cute joke, maybe about our relationship. And then I could tell right away that I said the wrong thing. And then that ride home was very quiet until she finally had to say, well, I didn't appreciate you saying this. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I am sorry, because it just came out of my mouth, because I need to think more before I just say anything. And I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And but it could have hurt her feelings, in a certain way that I didn't know. And so, yeah, that's important to make sure that you don't do that. And if you do it, which you probably are going to do it, it's just part of life. You need to correct it right away. If I don't know about it, just tell me. And I can't be offended or upset if she tells me something. I have to take whatever she says to me with love, and I hope that she always takes whatever I say to her with love. There wasn't a particular reason I wanted to talk about that, but I am going to start talking a little bit about our relationship and just how I think the world is getting really crazy with these relationships, and what women will accept and what men are willing to give. And I do think it's not imbalanced. So I want to talk about that, because I think in everybody we just want to be happy, but maybe we're looking at the two different things that are going to make us happy. So some of the things that I've learned from my parents and my grandparents, I want to pass on. They're gone, they're long gone, and so I'm the next generation to pass on, and I want to pass on that information too. So thank you very much for finding me. I hope you subscribe so that we can stay in contact. And then I want you guys to have a really great day. And thank you for stopping by.